What's up, guys? Welcome back to Prediction Center here, three-sided box. This week, week 9, Johnny couldn't join us. He's got school, exams and stuff coming up. So again, it's just me and Michael, but he'll be back soon, hopefully next week. That being said, our records this week, Johnny went 10-3. Again, he did one of the best out of the three of us. Where did you go?
I went 9-4.
9-4. I went 10-4. Reason why I have one more pick is because the Eagles had the bye, so I didn't have to not pick anything last week. So yeah, let's just jump straight into it. This week, the Thursday nighter is the Browns at Cincinnati. What do you have?
I don't think it's much of a question who's going to win this game. Browns are actually rolling with Manziel, and we all know what happened last year in Manziel's first game where played the Bengals and pretty much got destroyed. I was there to watch it, and it was pretty bad. So I'm gonna roll with the Bengals, easy win. At home Thursday night. I think they're gonna take it.
Yeah, I agree. Bengals take it prime time. I don't see why they would lose to the Browns. I mean, it's a prime time game. Could be a recipe for disaster. Maybe, you never know. But you could say that with any game almost. So I'm gonna go with the Bengals to take it easily. Johnny has also picked the Bengals to win this week, so all three of us have picked Cincinnati. Let's hope we all get some W's next game.
Alright, so for our first week in the Sunday night calendar, we got the Green Bay Packers going to Carolina to play the Panthers. Who do you think is going to win?
Well, it could have been the matchup of two undefeated teams, but I predicted the Broncos to take the W last week, primetime game, which I was very happy I got right. I don't know. I still think that the Panthers are super overrated. Kaepernick, believe it or not, has better numbers than Newton in a lot of categories this year, but yet he's being benched, and Newton is an MVP candidate. And I get it, yes, he's winning games, he's coming up in important moments when Kaepernick is, doing really dumb things. I get it, but from a stats standpoint, which is what people love to constantly bring up, Kaepernick is technically doing better. So that being said, I think Rodgers is pissed about the loss against Denver last week. I don't think it's going to happen again. Panthers are definitely due for a loss. It should have happened weeks ago, especially against the Eagles, but even before that. So I'm giving the win to the Packers this week. You?
Yeah, I think you summed up what I was going to say, where the Packers are going to be a bit angry that they pretty much got humiliated at Denver, and they pretty much let Manning, I guess, become Manning again. I mean, he was struggling a lot against lesser teams like the Browns.
And still didn't even throw a TD last week.
He didn't throw a TD, but look, he played well. He made the throws he needed to make to win, and they ran the ball in the red zone. They played well, and that defense is amazing.
Yep.
And it really hurts me to say because I hate that team, but they're really good. So with that being said, the Packers are. I think they're going to have a little fire in them and be a bit humbled.
In Carolina, so you never know, but.
Well, McCarthy said, the Green Bay coach, he said the most humbling loss he's experienced in his life. So, I mean, I think they're going to come out, they're going to be well prepared, and they're going to beat the Panthers outright.
All right. Johnny thinks the Panthers are taking it this week. In a surprising twist, I did not see that one coming. When he texted me, I was a bit in shock. But he believes in what they're doing. Their defense comes up playing pretty well in most moments. Their offense proves that they could get the big third downs when they need it and stuff like that. So, whatever. This is their third home game in a row. So, they played the Eagles Sunday nighter. Then last week, they had the Monday nighter, right? And this week, they're playing the Panthers at home. Maybe they played even another game before the Eagles at home. I don't know. But anyways, regardless, 2 Packers, 1 Panther somewhere next game. Alright, so it comes to that time of the week again where we actually haven't had a game like this in a couple weeks where it's just a quick pick. We've had some irrelevant bowls. This is not necessarily an irrelevant bowl because it's one thing that's good. It's the Washington Redskins at New England to face the Patriots. What do you got?
I mean, is there really a question? Who's going to win this game? I mean, it's the Pats. Deshaun Jackson isn't even playing for the Redskins.
I think he might be.
Both their corners are out too. Chris Culliver and D'Angelo Hall are out. But
I do think Deshaun Jackson's playing because Belichick said that he'll be a big threat.
Okay.
So I'm not 100%.
Regardless, even if they're full strength, I would still pick the Pats. Actually, one of my friends from work is going to this game, and he's a big Pats fan. He's going with a Redskins fan. I told him your friend is about to get severely disappointed. It is going to be a blowout.
Yeah, I don't even think it's much question. Johnny picked the Patriots. I mean, every week it's hard to not pick them. And this week they're playing an opponent that I obviously hate. That is completely decimated by injuries. And they suck. They suck. Even without injuries, they're not that great. So, Patriots, wherever Johnny is. I mean, he's not dead, but, somewhere where he's at home. In spirit. Patriots, 3 Pats. We'll see what happens next game.
Alright, so next up we got the Tennessee Titans going into New Orleans to play the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you got?
Titans really dropped the ball last week against the Texans.
Past 5 weeks.
No, but against the Texans specifically.
Yeah, they...
Texans have been, getting run over by everything. I mean, even water creatures as dolphins are running over these things, And the Titans have shown flashes where every now and then they'll play pretty good, then they'll be crap, and then they'll be good. Mariota's been out the last 2 weeks, so that could be an issue too. But regardless, I mean, the Saints are on a bit of a high now. Their defense is finally showing up a little bit. Their offense is rolling like it always has. I say Saints.
Yeah, I think it comes down to, I guess, structure. Like, who's the more, structured team? Like, you see with the Titans, they just got rid of their coach. Ken Wisenhunt, who's known as the quarterback whisperer. This guy was apparently a really good... I don't think he's a bad coach.
Not to Matt Leinart.
Yeah, apparently not to him, but... Look, I'm going to say Saints, but I really wouldn't be surprised if we see a little bit of, Dan Campbell-esque type of win, by the Titans, where their interim coach comes in and wins a really surprising game. But, like you said, Saints are rolling on offense, so I'm going to pick them.
Yeah, Johnny's got the Saints too, so 3 Saints. We'll see what happens. Again, Titans never know, but I think Saints got the edge this week. Next game. Alrighty, so next up is a AFC East matchup, divisional matchup. The Dolphins are in Buffalo to play the Bills. Who do you have winning this one?
It's a bit of a toss-up, I guess, because you're really not sure if the Dolphins are truly humbled by their defeat by the Patriots, and they lost Cameron Wake through injury, who's out for the season.
Yeah.
But like you've said on multiple occasions, the Bills just find ways to lose football games this time of year. So I'm gonna roll with the Dolphins, more consistent, more weapons, and I think just a better overall team.
Yeah, Johnny agrees with you. He's taking the Dolphins as well. Probably again because the Bills just don't know how to play football come when the calendar turns over to mid-October. So for me, it's a bit of a weird one because the Dolphins played well a couple weeks ago, then they got killed versus the Pats. But the Bills again, just, you don't know what you're gonna get out of them this time of year. But I'm gonna go with my gut. I'm gonna say the Dolphins take it just because the Bills are the Bills. And I don't think there's much more to be said. So, 3 Dolphins. Let's see what happens.
All right, so next up, we got the St. Louis Rams heading into Minnesota to play the Vikings. Who do you got?
It's, again, another toss-up for this one. This might be an irrelevant bowl. Mind you, last week was definitely an irrelevant bowl. We didn't even mention that.
It's not there 2 potential playoff teams.
It's 2 potential playoff teams, but because they're... Not that they're in weak divisions, but it's... They're the best of the worst. They have the front runners in their division, and everybody else is not doing that great.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I don't know. I'm gonna give Johnny's pick. He's saying Vikings take it. Look, Rams. You never know with this team. They perform well against teams in their division, especially last week. They played really well. Gurley's been ripping it up, but the Vikings, on the other hand, they're not a good team, but yet they're winning games because they have a couple pieces that play well at certain times. I'm going to go on a whim. I'm going to say Rams. I'm going to believe in Nick Foles. I'm going to believe in Jeff Fisher. I'm going to believe in Todd Gurley. I'm saying Rams.
I think it's a really, really tough one to pick. It's probably one of the toughest picks we're going to have this week.
Yeah.
But I'm going to roll with the Rams. I'm just going to go because as I don't know why analysts have said this, Bridgewater is the future. You know, he's a great quarterback. He's a good.
Sorry, great.
Okay, he's a good quarterback. He's solid, but you could tell this guy just he's not gonna be the next superstar or star. You know, he's not gonna be like that reliable clutch guy. You know, he's gonna be like a Dalton type of guy.
Culpepper.
What? Yeah.
If you want to talk Vikings.
Okay, whatever you want to call him, he's going to be that. He's going to be like a game manager, like Alex Smith type of player, okay? So I'm not a really big believer. They've won some unconvincing games, in my opinion. Even though they're 5-2 and they do have a pretty solid team, well-rounded team, I'm going to go with the Rams just because I don't know if they could stop Gurley, and I'm more confident of the Rams stopping Adrian Peterson, which will put more pressure on Bridgewater to make good throws, which I don't think he could make as of right now.
Yeah, so I guess we'll see what happens. Next game. Next up, some might categorize this as a relevant bowl. Somewhat is. We've had 3 in a row that you might consider relevant bowls. The Jaguars are in New York to face off against the Jets. Who do you have?
Jets are coming off a pretty tough defeat at my Raiders, but I really don't see them losing at home against the Jags. They dropped the ball a little bit. They had like a little Brady hangover, Patriots hangover, but I think they're going to right the ship here against the Jags, so Jets.
Yeah, Johnny's got the Jets too. Me as well. I'm going to take them just for the sole factor that they're a bit more consistent. Their defense should be really should be really good. But that being said, I am going to say one thing. If there's going to be an upset this week, I'm saying it's this game. The Jags surprised a lot of people in London a couple of weeks back. The Jets are on a bit of a low. I'm saying if there's an upset, it's going to be this game, but I'm still picking the Jets to take it. So let's see what happens.
All right, so next up we got my Oakland Raiders heading into Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. I can't talk about it as it is my team.
It's our rule.
Who do you got?
Look, I gave the Raiders 4 wins. They're at 4. We're midway through the season. Steelers are at home. Big Ben, as you could tell, was really pissed off about the loss last week. Bell's out though, but DeAndre Williams is a beast. He's playing really well this year. He's playing with a bit of a chip on his shoulder, I think, with the whole Carolina not keeping him thing, whatever.
It's true.
Whatever happened behind the scenes, I don't know. Anyways, but Raiders have 4 wins. They're staying at 4 wins, at least for this week. Steelers win. Johnny has picked the Raiders to win this week. I think he's finally bought into the hype known as the Raider black hole of career train thing, whatever.
It's only been lasting for 13 years because the rest of the franchise has been winning and been the most winningest NFL franchise ever.
Okay, there. So Montreal Canadiens, bullshit, whatever. Excuse my language, but we all know how I feel about them. Not saying the Raiders are the Canadian equivalent in the NFL because that's the Dallas Cowboys, but the hype train is big in Oakland right now. I'm definitely not buying it. I said if they make the playoffs, it's going to go on the internet now. If the Raiders make the playoffs this year, I will not talk shit about them ever again. They'll have my respect. But until then, to me, they're completely unproven, and it's just a giant hype train. And that's all it's going to be until then. So let's see what happens. I got the Steelers. Johnny's got the Raiders. It's next game. Next up is an interesting matchup. Buccaneers are Buccaneers are hosting the New York Giants. Who do you have winning this one?
It is another tough one, kind of like the Jets and Jags.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna probably go with the Bucs on this one. Surprisingly, I just think that last week the Giants are a bit exposed in the secondary, which is and the defense as a whole as a weakness. I mean, we always knew that it was a bit weak, but we didn't know it was that weak. I mean, I know the Saints do have some weapons, but it's anything like mind-boggling that they have. So I mean, I don't really see how they're gonna stop, in my opinion, a superior offense a little bit. In the Bucs, they have Mike Evans, one of the top young receivers in the league, and I think he's gonna come in and do his thing, and I don't think that they're gonna be able to cover him.
You got some valid points. Johnny disagrees with you. He's got the G-Men this week. I think he sort of regrets going against them last week. Sorry, yeah, he did go against. Yeah, I picked the Saints. Right? Did he? I don't
Yeah.
remember. Anyways.
I think he did.
It's the first time he's gone against Manny. Yeah, because he was. We were surprised he went against him. Not that he regrets it. Obviously, he got the W in terms of our picks. He was right, but I don't think he was comfortable going against his favorite player's brother. So he's back on their side this week. For me, it's a tough one because, again, the biasness towards the hate of the Giants. But not even that. I mean, the Giants, again, like you said last week, showed a lot of holes in their defense. Which people thought they didn't necessarily have. Not that it was a great defense, but they definitely thought it was a lot more solid than that. The Saints have been rolling, so that's another reason why maybe they put up some points. But the Bucs shocked a lot of people last week. They stopped a really good Falcons offense.
And they one thing that they did that's really going under the rug is that they ran the ball against one of the top run defenses in the league in the Falcons. So I mean, Doug Martin is doing his thing, and I don't think Giants are any better than the Falcons defensively.
So you know what? I'm gonna go against the Giants again. I'm gonna pick the Buccaneers. Not any biases, honest and truthfully. I don't see it's in Tampa. I don't see the Giants doing anything. Like you said last week, that the NFC East is falling in shambles every week.
It might get even more crazy this week.
You never know, so I'm going with the Bucs. We'll see what happens. Anything's possible with the Giants next game.
Alright, so for our next matchup, we got the Atlanta Falcons coming into the Bay Area to play the San Francisco 49ers. What do you got?
Well, the Niners made a big decision this week, benching Kaepernick at midnight Eastern Standard Time, which is really weird. That team is just falling apart every week. You figure something else out about them. I don't know what's next with them. Like we said earlier, Kaepernick's numbers aren't exactly the worst. It's his decision making that's been the problem. Exactly. He has a skill set that a lot of quarterbacks wish they had in terms of his athletic abilities. But again, he's not that smart of a quarterback. I mean, he had what's his name was open.
Torrey Smith.
Yeah, it was wide open 2 weeks ago, and on the 1 yard line, and he didn't call any sort of audible. I mean, you don't even have to at that point. Just call his name and throw the ball to him. Just don't hand the ball off at that point. Who the hell cares? So and the Falcons are coming off another rough one. This time a loss versus their division rivals. So I think the Falcons are pissed. I think they want to get back on track. What better time to do it against a struggling Niners team? I say Falcons win.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm going with the Falcons. I think with the Niners trading Vernon Davis,
that's true.
Just shows where they're at as a team, and where they think they're gonna go, because they're getting rid of, although an underachieving player the past 2 years, he still has a talent set, and he's still a pretty, I guess, legendary Niner. Like he's known as a Niner.
He could still be that third down guy.
Yeah, exactly, of course. So. And they trade him to a contender, so it just shows where they're at, and they trade him for nothing, like about a 5th round pick, 6th round pick, and they even sent Denver a 6th round pick also. So I mean, they're in a rebuild mode. So I mean, it just shows where they're at as a team, as a culture, and where they're heading. So I think the Falcons come in and just demolish them, to be honest.
Yeah. Johnny is also on the Falcons. We're all on the Redbirds this week. Look, the Niners, big changes. Blaine Gabbert starting. Maybe this is a spark for something with Davis getting traded. It's maybe it's the people on the team are saying, you know what, it's now or never. We're gonna lose our jobs. Something, I don't know. I doubt it, but anything's possible in the NFL. But we're all on the Falcons, so let's see what happens. Alrighty, so the America's Game of the Week, I believe, is this week. The Broncos are bringing Peyton Manning back home to Indianapolis to face off against the Colts. Johnny cannot pick because it's his team. It's our rule. Who do you have winning this one?
I think this is another pretty easy one. I mean,
it could be.
The Broncos are rolling right now. They have a lot of confidence. Being led by that defense that, I mean, I hate to say it, it's the best defense in the league by far. That D-line is scary. Those two guys, Von Miller and Ware, are scary people. So I'm going to roll with them. even though the Colts came back against the Panthers and forced overtime, I was watching the game.
Mm-hmm.
I was really surprised, and I'll give them a lot of props, but I don't think that they're going to get the W this week.
I'm going to go with the Broncos too. I believed in them last week. There's no reason why I shouldn't believe in them this week. The Colts are struggling. Just to put it together and just play a full 60 minutes of football. They
struggle.
Every week they have a quarter here, they have a quarter there. It's never enough to get them to win. Andrew Luck, reports are saying he has multiple fractured ribs. Other reports saying he's fully healthy. Regardless, I don't think he's healthy or not. He's not himself.
Yeah, for sure.
Look, this could be a perfect time to show that he's legit. He's playing against the guy he replaced. You never know, but I'm going to give the Broncos the edge. Their defense is just playing lights out right now. Manning had a great game last week without even throwing a TD. So their run game too was playing pretty solid last week against a really good Packers team. So two Broncos. For Johnny's sake, I kind of do hope that the Colts get a W, but...
Also, for the sake of that division, I really don't want to see any team besides the Colts make the playoffs from that division.
Sure.
Honestly, I really don't think anybody's a contender besides the Colts.
I think regardless, I think the Colts are still going to make it. Might be on a losing record, which is pretty sad, but let's hope the Colts do for Johnny's sake. Next game.
Alright, so next up in our Sunday night matchup, we got your Philadelphia Eagles heading to Dallas to play those Cowboys.
Hashtag beat Dallas, baby.
You can't speak about this because it's our rule. So if I had to pick a team, even though it's the NFC East, even though I want it to get more crazy and more stupid than it already is, I think this is a pretty obvious pick in the Eagles. It's weird the way the division works. I feel like whenever a team has momentum and is at home and is playing well, or is just at home, period, the other team just seems to dominate the game. I don't get it.
Well, since 2010, which is I believe when the new Jerry's World opened up, the Eagles are 4-1 at Dallas. So
it's hard to pick against that, and I really think that the Eagles' defense is really good. That front is not getting enough credit around the league. Fletcher Cox, I was just reading an article before. He's one of the best in the league. I'm gonna go that far. He's a top 5 defensive tackle in the league. So I really like him. Cowboys he didn't do anything against Seahawks last week, so I don't know. And Johnny also picked the Eagles to win this game outright. So let's see what happens, and hopefully the Eagles could win against the Cowboys for your sake.
Next game. So we're at our conclusion of Week 9, the Monday Nighter. Again, who the hell, in God's name, or whatever you believe in, scheduled this matchup to be a primetime game? I guess it sort of had some promise at the beginning. The Chicago Bears are in San Diego to play the Chargers. Who do you have winning this one?
Well, this is another tough one. This might be tougher than the Rams.
This might be relevant bowl number 3 or 4 this week too, with the way they're both going.
Yeah. You know what? Let's see who Johnny picked before, because I'm really not sure.
Johnny's got the Bears. He believes the Bears are maybe finally who we think they are, or who they could be, or who they were, or whatever. I guess I'll give you a bit more time. I'll go with the pick. I'm so torn. I really don't know. I'm probably going to go on a whim. But fast. The Bears play well in games we really don't expect them to play well in.
That's why.
I don't know why. And the Chargers should be always playing well, and they are not this year. I don't know what's going on. It's so tough, but Bears win. I'm going with the Bears. I'm going to go with the great city of Chicago.
I'm actually going to surprisingly agree with you.
Oh, wow.
On this one time, I will go against my hate of that city and just pick the Bears to outright win this game. Like you said, Bears win some games maybe they shouldn't. And Chargers haven't really been playing well. And you know what? The Bears have, surprisingly, a very good pass defense. Their run defense isn't so good. Their pass defense is top 5 in the league. So I'm going to roll with that stat. Keenan Allen, I think, is out. I think it's a lacerated kidney.
he is. Yeah.
So, I mean, unless Gates is playing, I really don't see the Chargers being able to move the ball consistently against the Bears. So, yeah, I'm going to roll with the Bears. I can't believe we're all on the Bears. I'm in shock.
Yeah, I'm in shock too.
But you know what? I think when the lights are on, they're going to come up big.
Never know. So that's been it for Week 9 here at Prediction Center for the NFL. Join us next week for Week 10. Hopefully Johnny will be back. Hopefully we'll all have good records. Hopefully all of our teams will come out with W's. So regardless of our records, we'll be happy because in the end, that's all that matters. So yeah, we'll see you guys next time.